Hey, what's up, world? Hey, we're gonna start out this episode, oh by the way, and we gotta start with Russia invading Ukraine, right? So first off, we gotta give, a warm shout out to the men and women that's going over there um to help, to fight, to do whatever is asked of them to go over there and do. So we want to give a shout out to those guys, man. And that kind of like one of those things when you're in the military, man, that you really don't know when your numbers may be called to go out and do something like that. But when it's called, you have to be ready. You have to be ready to go. And I know, regardless that you're leaving back, your family going to be thinking about you. We going to be thinking about you. So again, big shouts out to that, man. That's one of the things I wanted to, get out the way real quick and get those guys shots out because they want it and deserves it.
Yeah, hugs, kisses, and well wishes to everybody. Like Damon said, if you headed there, if you're there, if you putting your pack on, you getting ready to take action. We appreciate it. We love you. Good luck. And this is a heavy topic, right? So, I'm seeing people on, some people on social media, some of these people, military members, and we normally come in with a lighter thought, lighter topic, but this is immediate. This is immediate thought, but it's a heavy topic, so I don't want to joke around with it. We definitely didn't want to joke around with it. Seeing some people joking around and World War III jokes and stuff like this, and some of this stuff, could be more immediate than we might think. And this is what we're here for. So we're not here to play around the memes. We're all gonna die, memes and jokes. We here to we here to do what we supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's some people that's been waiting. You already know how it is, Damon. Like it's some people
Yeah.
that's been waiting for their number to get called. Some brave men, some brave women that's been waiting for their numbers to be called. This not a joke, for any party involved, whether it be us, whether it be Ukraine, for any party involved, this is not nothing to play around with. So if you stop playing, I don't normally make declarations and stuff like that, but stop playing with this, especially for the military members. Stop playing around with this. This is serious. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? It's what we supposed to do.
Yeah. And you know what, that leads me into my next thing, man, about what is your take on like just war in general, not necessarily this one, but just in war in general. What's kind of your take on that?
I was under the thought process that, um, well, first off, let me start with saying like I'm in the military, so I signed up to understand that this is what we do. I signed up to understand that when our number get called, it's time to go to action. And that's until the day I'm out of having to do that. You know what I mean? The day I'm done with having to do that, I'm 100% all in. Right? We got some people that's reservists, that's thinking like, man, I might, I'm probably gonna have to, reactivate and go, go over there, just
Hmm.
thinking that stuff. And they,
Yeah.
again, I commend those people that's ready to, go out there. This is what we do. I can't not be ready. However, you asked me what's my thoughts on it, and honestly, I don't. In 2022, I don't understand any, and this might be coming through like with my maturity as like a person as well. But I don't understand anything we can't talk through, negotiate through. I didn't never really think we'd be back ground and pounding like doing like missiles, innocent people dying in buildings and stuff like that. Um, I didn't think that, like, but in this time, in this day and age, even in like normal situations, sometimes life is not like human life is not valued, the way that I believe it should be valued anyway. Like the parking lot of Walmart, you know what I'm saying? Where you get a person tell somebody to put the COVID mask on because he works security at the Walmart, and then they come back around an hour later and shoot them down, gun this person down. That's human life not, being valued. I understand
Yeah.
the necessity for war at times. I just didn't think that in 20. I know we've been preparing for it. I understand all that. I just personally don't think or see a reason for us to have to fight this way in this day and age.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah. I agree with you, man. I agree with the fact that I think it's so many different ways, so many different things you can do before it get to this level. You know, I feel like you can cut off things from countries to make them revisit whatever thoughts they may have been having about when it comes to war. Personally, what I think about, man, I think about war and I think about boots on ground. I think about my nephew, which is in the army,
yeah,
and things like that. Because I know that's where it leads to, at the end of the day. But then I start thinking about the operational standpoints on you may not have nothing to do. You may be someone who don't even pick up a rifle, but you are most definitely could be part of this whole operation because the operational thing is one thing lead to the next thing, lead to the next thing to get to a certain point. And it's a lot of moving parts, and then there's a lot of people that's involved with all of that stuff. So people always think war, they think about warheads on foreheads. Man, it's a whole lot, more dynamic than just that when it comes to this war thing, man. And a lot of people are affected by it. But I'm around the same area you at when it comes to. I think that there's so many other things and so many avenues. But like you said, we sign up for this thing, man, and we have to be ready.
yeah, and we will be ready. We're prepared to fight. I just want
Yeah.
everybody to pay attention to what's going on in the world. Especially our listeners. We try our best to talk about like a lot that got to do with the human aspect of being a sailor, active duty, a military member. Some of the human stuff. Sometimes we've had some conversations about leadership being toxic. We had conversations about even our own, brothers and sisters in the Chiefs mess. We have good conversations. We have fun conversations. We funny stuff. We talk about nav admins and news stuff. We don't talk that much about tactical, operational things like this. We don't do that for a reason. And but we want you guys to make sure that, and we won't do it. We won't start doing that either. But we do want to make sure that everybody out there is paying attention to what's going on, paying attention to what's going on through multiple sources, including our sources. Pay attention to the things that CNO been putting out. Pay attention to the doctrines and stuff that's coming out from the highest levels of commands. It's a lot of places where some of these things are being discussed. So just pay attention to it, listen, read it, and be ready. I mean, that's what this is what we all signed up to do, is to protect our country. So be ready.
Yes, I totally agree. With just being aware, man, we have to be aware of things that's going on because they affect us. Anything that affect us, you got to be aware for it, and being aware of it makes you prepared for it. So you have to be aware. But on a lighter note,
Hmm.
you know, we have uh selection board, man. We had some new warrants,
Yeah.
new LDOs, so we want to always give a shots out to people who getting promoted, in the military. So I know I had some couple people on there I knew, and also on top of that, so people who did make it, don't you can hold your head down for a couple of hours, maybe even a day, but you got to get back in the fight and do your thing, right? You'll get it. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your goals, and get out there and get it. But again, congratulations to the LDOs. Congratulations to the warrants out there. I know you guys gonna go out there and do great things.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to my boy, Jose Andino, man. Name on that list, baby. I like it, man. And then just to everybody, man, if you want to go warrant, you want to go LDO, put a package in. You know what I'm saying? Don't be the person feeling bad when those results come out, but you ain't put a package in. Put a package in. If you don't, and you want to, stay over here, um, stay over here, and do what you need to do to make rank, man. This is something that we all could be happy and proud about, man. I had my boy Dino up soon as I found out, like, hey, Dino, congrats, bro. And he's like, hey, man, I was trying to hit that 8 first to get that 8. I was like, man, you good no matter what, man. This is good stuff, man. So congrats to everybody, out there that's doing their thing, man. Me and Dino made Chief together, man. We took like
Nice.
pictures of us together, all types of stuff. We were on a LCS together. He was a first class. I think he was the LPO actually at the time, and I came in and I was like TAD. I remember this. Hey, Dino, man, this is funny, man, but I think I gotta say it. I remember Dino was like, hey, man. And we talked about this on the podcast, but I never said who it was. I remember Dino was like, hey, man, if you want to take LPO, man, you can, man. Like, he just needed a little break. You know what I mean? Like, I was TAD. I was TAD, man. He just needed a little break, just a little break. He was like, hey, man, you can just take this for a little bit, man. Hey, I love you, man. I love you, bro, man. Some of his political thoughts be crazy. I don't ever comment. I be seeing them, but I don't be commenting, man. But look, I love you, man, and good luck out there as an officer, man. And I would love to serve for you and be a part of that, story if I can. So good luck out there, man. Thanks for the good memories.
Most definitely, man. So yeah, man, I had this in other things, I had this big, 3-day stretch that came up, man. So we had Valentine's Day came up, man.
Yeah.
Then we had my wife's birthday the next day. And then right after that, man, we had my anniversary. So I have every year out there, world. And give me some pointers out there too, world.
Yeah.
I get through telling you guys. Give me some pointers and help me out because man, it's tough on a brother, man.
So this
3 days
3 days
stretch.
straight, right? 3 days straight.
3 days
right?
straight.
Uh-huh.
You can't put them all in one day. You know that, right? You can't put them all in one day, right? So it was a good day, I think, personally, and from my wife's reactions to stuff, man. I think it was a success, man. I don't want to I'm not gonna get into too many details.
We about to get into it, man. We about to get into it, man. Hey, we about to get into it, man. Hey, so quick question. Yeah. Is it at this day and age, how long y'all been married?
15.
So 15, right? So at 15, right? Is it anything new under the sun?
No, shit. No. Take that back, man.
Oh, man. I'll be listening.
No, 15. It's 15. It's 15. I'm making sure. Yes, 15.
So at this day and age, right? Is it like anything new under the sun? Or have y'all done everything?
I don't think necessarily. I have to be right now, 15 years in. It's nothing. I have to be very creative now, man.
Yeah.
We know each other so well and we kind of can read each other's signs. So when I do something different, and the thing I did, I'm gonna let your world know, it's hard. She kind of can. Look. I played everything off to the T this time, man. Like I played it off nothing, and then we had some things come up. So she was thinking maybe it got pushed to the side a little bit because we had some things that came up or whatever. But so I wasn't saying too much about it. But man, I try to get my kids involved a little bit too.
Let me ask you a question
like,
before you get too deep, because we're gonna break it down. But my question for you, because you said there's not much new you could do under the sun. You guys surprising. So is it to be like, yo, so what if you was like this, yo, for your birthday and Valentine's Day and for our anniversary this year, we just not gonna do nothing. Like that's the that's the new thing. Like, yo, we just not gonna do nothing. We just gonna chill and relax and enjoy each other. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that would go over well?
No, that's not an option, bro.
Okay.
That's not an option. I'm telling you, that is not an option. Now, it may have. I'll take that back. I was about to say maybe if it was my birthday, it may be an option, but
no,
it's not. It's still not an option.
All right, so
it's not an option.
All right, so let's get you to the planet. So you planned this in advance, huh? Some of this stuff you planned in advance.
Yes.
You making me feel. I mean, Angeline's birthday is this weekend.
Yeah. And let me tell you, man, and then I might get myself in trouble by explaining this on how my thought process was, right? Because I know I got 3 days, right? 3 days, right? So I know I got 3.
Well, you got 2 days. The anniversary is for both of y'all.
Yeah, anniversary both of us, right? So 2 days, but the third day you still got to bring a little bit. So
for both of y'all.
So I'd already so I got up the morning of the 4th of Valentine's Day, And normally when I go through the day or whatever, then I have something, either at a work or I have something, later that day when she get home or whatever, right? This time my switch up game was she wasn't even up yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I come in the room with my gifts and things, for Valentine's Day, the day prior, right? I mean, not the day prior, the morning.
While she was asleep, so
Yeah,
you was moving around like the Grinch through Whoville.
Like 5:30. It's like 5:30.
So you was maneuvering through like the Grinch.
Dude.
Was you trying to be quiet? Was you like,
yeah, man? Hey, you're waking up like in a deep sleep to like paper rattling and gifts in the morning, right? That was my new thing. And at first, like my wife need her sleep. Trust me, she needs she needs that sleep because she's gonna get up in a few minutes, do a little workout and things, right? So she's knocked out too, knocked out. And she wake up. Normally, if I wake her up like that, she probably be like, "What are you doing? I'm mad or pissed about something." Today, she looked like she was mad for like 2 seconds. She seen that gift. You know what I mean? So she had like a 2 seconds. She saw the bag. She got the gift, man. And I'm here to tell you, she was happy as hell, man. Like she said, "I thought you like." She even said she thought I kind of like forgot. That we had something going on. Because no, I think she'd be sniffing me out on what I'm doing ahead of time. Because, trying to plan whatever. She didn't sniff none of this out. So
day one was, what was day one? Day one was the Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, okay, Valentine's Day.
So day one
Valentine's Day, right? Okay. And then, I had the balloons and I had the flowers and I had all the normal stuff. Had this. So let me tell you, man, like when you go out and buy something and you like don't really, you have to buy it and you don't care how much it costs. And that's how I am. I know I'm going to get these flowers. I know I'm going to get this and I know I'm going to get this. So I know I'm going to get some chocolate and stuff, man. So this time I got these cause I know she liked these, the peanut butter brittle.
Yeah.
Right. So I know she liked this type of candy type stuff. So I said, let me get this box of this peanut butter brittle. Box is by, whatever, nice little size box or whatever's right. And I get up to the counter to pay for it. And this thing costs like $35, man. And this little box of candy, it just threw me off a little bit, man, because I did not think, not that I wasn't going to pay for it, just the fact it threw me off because it cost $35.
Gotta pull that black card out, man. Gotta pull.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't an issue. You know how some just throw you off like, I'm like, thinking it's gonna 35? Be like freaking, $5, $10. I said $35. And first day I was like, okay, all right. It wasn't the same second guess myself or nothing, but it was just like, damn, $35 for this shit. But so yeah, man. So got all the flower stuff, did all that stuff, man. So it was a good day. Good day. Went out, I didn't want to go too hard on a place we went out to eat or whatever for Valentine's Day. But I took her out, got something to eat or whatever. But I didn't want to go too. I got 2 more days, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's doing the weekday. So it's kind of like,
what was you telling the job? What was you telling the command?
I went, I still went to work.
Every day, huh?
Yeah, I went to work. But I brung it up though. I always bring up my 3-day stretch. Everybody know about it at work. Got 3-day stretch. So I'm telling my department here, got this going on. I'm throwing the little signs in there, I got to get home, get this plan going, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it wasn't working for me though. But yeah.
So you had to stay later than you thought you.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
always
you hate that shit, man? Like every day I can get out of work, man, around about 12, 1 o'clock. How about on these days I need to get out around that time? I'm now getting out at freaking 14, 15, which is 2 or 3 o'clock. Yeah. What? Come on,
then they
man.
hit you with then you had a symposium the next day.
Yes, the symposium was on the freaking
the Thursday,
the anniversary.
Anniversary day. Okay.
Yeah, anniversary day. So okay. So now the next day,
right? Day two
is birthday.
Okay. So
right, birthday, man. And I know the birthday means a lot to Ella, in the birthday thing. So I got her. I tell you what I got. I got her this Michael Kors purse, right? Mm-hmm. But the purse, it got the 2 layers. So you got a purse, the regular big ass bag, cause she like big bags. Mm-hmm. Then you got the bag inside of it. Then you got another freaking part of it. Like let me tell you about Michael Kors, man. All this shit is sold separately. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all sold separately, man. So got me on that one or whatever. So did the birthday thing, man. She really like that. And then I got the purse thing because we always walking around in stores and stuff, and I'm always paying. This is me though. I'm always paying attention what she looking at, just in case. You know what I mean? Even though she buy it, she don't buy it. I'm just always paying attention to what she looking at. And I saw her looking at this one day, so I went in there, and then I saw her looking at that. But then I went extra. You know how you go extra or whatever. So I did a little extra, man, for that. So the birthday was good. I end up cooking some stuff for the birthday, right? You know, then you do your little cake, you do your ice cream and thing like that. The kids was all involved, so she had another good day. And my wife is like, she kind of like love what I be doing and trying to do, man. But when I throw the kids in to help out too, man, I think it's a bigger impact too, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So got that done. So day 3 anniversary, right? So, oh, I take that back, man. I forgot about something. On the birthday, I was going to take her to, instead of me, I would take her to the Japanese steakhouse. Got to the Japanese steakhouse, man. Go up in there, man. I smell that good food, smell all that stuff, man. And them jokers say, they said reservations only, man.
Damn.
God, man. But yeah. Okay, so I get to the
so I wasn't reservation. You was just gonna thug it out.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna be able to go in there and get it in, man. I don't know what I was thinking though, man, but I thought I was gonna be able to go in there and get it in.
Yeah,
but I didn't make that mistake with the anniversary though.
Okay,
didn't make that mistake. So first off, the anniversary, we went out and ate the anniversary. We went to Pachanga. So Pachanga had this steakhouse in a Great Oak, some steakhouse, and I ain't never, believe it or not, man, I never had the tomahawk steak.
Yeah.
Right. So we had them tomahawk steaks, man. And I'm here to tell you, bro, that's the best steak I ever had in my life, man.
Dang.
Out of all of them, all the steak I had, man, that steak was the best. And then, so the plate it gives you, it's a for 2 plate in there, man, for 2. So it give you a tomahawk and it gave you the, it gave me another steak. Dang, what it was called? The Mion, whatever it's called. Yeah. So another steak, man, but it wasn't even close to this freaking tomahawk steak, man. Wasn't even close.
I wonder how they name steaks. I wonder how they come up with the names for steaks. Like what made y'all call this tomahawk? But
exactly. Okay. I know they got that long ass fucking thing on there. So we exchanged gifts or whatever, man, which was cool, man. Talked a lot.
Did you like your
gift?
Talked
about the
Did you like your gift?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a joke anyway, because I mean, like, you can't say no, right?
Can't say no. I love that
I'm
gift.
sure you like it. You can't be like, no, you know, I listen to this. Like, what?
Yeah, but I will say this about, before I go on, man, and I want to say this about this year, man. I think this is one of, like, the reactions, the, all that stuff that we had during this 3-day stretch is probably the better time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, the reactions, you know what I mean? Even from the kids' reactions to me doing stuff and watching me do it. Everybody's reaction to everything, man, was pretty cool this time around, man. So looking forward to next year. I'm going bigger. I gotta go bigger and better, man. Gotta go bigger and better.
Yeah.
And now, I can't really say, no, I can't say that yet, man, because you got me doing other things too, man. But I can't talk about it yet.
Yeah, I got some things planned. I got some things.
Yeah, you got some things planned, which is getting me in a little bit of trouble. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, you already know? I thought you was gonna be no. Yeah, we can't talk about it. Hey, we can't talk about that.
Can't talk about that yet. Yeah, that's why I said can't talk about that yet.
It's pretty. Yeah, man. It's pretty cool too.
Yes, nice. It is. I like. Yes, it is. Yes.
Right,
yes.
So let's talk. Before we go, but that's like sorry to the listeners, but that's like I don't have much else though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like it's something else, but it's not. I guess that's a nice thing.
That's huge, dude.
Okay.
And the thought process made it real huge, man. I never thought of no shit like that, man. Okay. So it's cool.
All right, we're gonna leave it alone. Hey, listeners, we love you. We thank you for your listenership, and we won't have coded conversations like this.
I know.
Like that again, right?
We'll talk about this soon, though.
Yeah, you'll know, you'll know about it. But so I log on, right? You talk a little bit about me. I log on to the computer this morning and I get an email. Well, I grab my phone. I get an email from Netflix saying that they going up to $19.99. Right. And I just feel like I just got this email 2 months ago that they was going up to $17.99. And here's why. And, all this stuff. Man, I don't even really watch Netflix like that. You know what I mean? Like I watch HBO Max more, Hulu now more than Netflix. And so I go to work, right? I go to work and I ask, some people, I'm like, hey, I just got this alert from Netflix and like half of them didn't. I'm like, what's going on? And they like, well, most people like, well, I use such and such Netflix. I use being my friend, we trade off on different streaming apps, so I use their Netflix, they use my Hulu or whatever. I don't pay for them all.
These dirty. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. I'm paying for them all. Yeah. I'm paying for every streaming service.
Me too.
I just got rid of Sling because I never watched Sling. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm about to cancel my Netflix subscription, man. I don't. If they go up in 2 more years, it's gonna be $40. I might as well have cable again. Like all this was to get rid of cable. I might as well have cable again. And then another thing I'm pissed off about though is that everything now is subscription based. It's nothing that's not subscription based, man. You go like want to use Microsoft Word, or you gonna want to use like some editing software or something, and it's like, yo, you need a monthly subscription. You want to pay for this monthly? You want to pay for this annually? You want to hit it with 3 years? It's like everything. Everybody's trying to take your money, man. And it's like every day, almost every day, like my Apple card, right? I got an Apple card. Almost every day, it's like a $9.99 or $11.99 charge.
Welcome to my life, man. Same way with me, man.
Yeah.
Same way.
I'm like, yo, man, like, what's this going to?
Oh my goodness.
One day I need to sit down and, and really map out like all the money that I'm spending on things that some of them I'm probably not even using. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sure we got some listeners going through the same exact thing, man.
Yeah, man. I know I am, man. But I did go through mine though. So a lot of things that was happening with me, well, first the Netflix thing, yeah. But they got me, man. I like Netflix. I watch a lot of Netflix, but I have Directv on top of all of that. I got Directv and I got every fucking streaming app.
Man,
that
man,
is.
So how much money you paying on just watching TV? $600, like $600 a month?
Yeah, especially look.
You probably paying.
Hey, look, yeah. Hey, dude, I'm paying a grip, man. Especially on top of if like NBA, I got the NBA package, and if it's NFL, I got the. That's the only reason I got Directv, man. The only reason why I got Directv is because of NBA package and NFL package.
That's crazy. I think you could get that on Sling. I think you could get both of them on Sling. I'm not sure, but I think Sling could give you those and live TV and some of the other stuff. So you got DirecTV, Netflix, right?
Yep,
you got Netflix. You got HBO Max.
HBO Max.
You got Hulu.
You got Apple Showtime? TV. I ain't got Showtime.
You got Stars?
No.
Oh,
okay. No. Well, I want to say Stars. They may be on my DirecTV.
Stars is Power, Force.
Yeah, I think I may have that part of DirecTV. But yeah, man, I got a lot of stuff I'm paying. Trust me, a lot of stuff I'm paying. But Netflix most definitely got me.
Yeah.
Because I do watch a lot of them. Man, anytime they come out with those like freaking detective movies, man, I'm all about those detective movies, man.
Yeah.
But so you were talking about the Apple Card and all that stuff keep coming out, all these bills keep coming out. So I went through there, man. And you brought up a good point about all the subscriptions, man. Like all these apps, I mean, a lot of these apps that I have on there, just come out automatic, and I don't even know. You know what I mean? So when I went there, so you can go on your phone and look at which ones they are. And I looked at it, dude, and I had, let me see, man. I had probably about 13. I think it was 13. Me and my wife was about 13 apps that was getting money from me, man. Like $4.99, $1.99, $3.99.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? All the time that was getting money off me.
Like Subway Surfer? Is it like
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I got
Subway
7. I got 7 pictures of apps, man. Like everybody said something to me about an app, I downloaded. I didn't stop downloading apps, man. I got like 7 things of freaking apps, man.
Yeah, most of my apps, because now they don't automatically update the app if you don't use it that much. So most of my apps got the little like thing that it ain't been updated in a while anyway. I got a lot of apps too, like apps that got to do with like editing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I have no games at all on my phone. No games at all.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
assuming you
play
don't. Yeah,
games.
because when I
Nah,
bought up Subway Surfer, and I don't even think you know what Subway Surfer
I
is.
don't. Not a clue.
What
Not
about
a clue.
Temple Run? No,
Not a clue.
You've
I don't
never
play
heard of
game.
Temple Run?
I don't play games. You know what? I do have one game on it on my phone, man, and it's Wordscape.
Oh, Wordscape. Okay,
Yeah, that's it.
I know people playing that new Wordy game or something. I don't know where it's at, but
Yeah.
I keep hearing about Wordy. I feel like I'm gonna send you a link for Temple Run, man. I feel like you're gonna be on it for like 4 hours straight, man. 4 hours straight
Like,
because
I
you're
have no
competitive
game.
like that, man. I can see you
Yeah, yeah.
trying to complete Temple Run. You know, you can't end these games. These games last forever. Like Candy Crush, dude. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I remember like playing Candy Crush on like a deployment, and I'm like, yo, dude, man, I'm on like level 127. It's crazy, man. Dude's like, yo, I'm on like level 655, man. And I'm actually waiting for the update. I'm like, dang,
Oh
man.
man.
It might have
Good
been,
gracious.
speaking of Dino, it might have been Dino who taught me that if you change your date, like when you run out of your lives or whatever, if you change your date in your phone, it'll reset your lives. Like that might have been, I forgot who told me that. It might have been Dino, man.
Oh man.
But speaking of the ship, I, I told you, I think I told you the story about RS1 like motivating me when I was on duty, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if not, man, it's just a quick story on morality, courage, willingness to like no, but it's a quick story of just, like you can never, ever, ever, ever like turn down a moment to be like motivated. You know what I mean? So we would be, standing duty. And if anybody listening, they already know this. If you're in the Navy and you're one of our like Navy active duty listeners, you know this. Like engineers, for some strange reason, right? I'm gonna be honest, like always got a reason to not be at duty section turnover, right? Something going on in the space. You know what I'm saying? They do some kind of maintenance. They inside an engine, something going on. And probably 6 times out of 10, if you go down in them spaces and you look inside them engines, I don't think you're going to see any engineers, right? Right? If you go inside those berthings and you look in those racks, I think you might catch some of those engineers that's supposed to be in the modules, right? Or anywhere, an electrician could say they're in a controller, a damage controlman could say they're in a locker, do some kind of inventory or something like that, right? But pretty much, long story short, engineers are never anywhere to be found when it's time for like duty section turnover, right? So it's just something that as engineers we grow to know. So me, chief, EDO, I'm there. I'm representing for the department, right? But every time I would go to turnover, RS1, man, hey, shout out to RS1, but RS1, he would be pissed, like just heated, like super tight. You know what I mean? And it'd be like, so the one engineer to be there, right? And he'd be like, hey, where everybody else at? And he got this person like, cornered, you know what I mean? It's just me being an engineer, I'm coming up to see what's going on. Like, hey, what's going on? And RS1, he wouldn't be like, upset with me, but he'd be like, man, I'm just sick of this, man. We could never get everybody coming to turnover, especially these fucking engineers. You know what I'm saying? And he'd look at me, and it'd be like a challenge, and like, cause I am an engineer, but me and RS1, we got a good rapport and stuff like that. But but it kind of lit a fire up under my ass, man. So I start going down. I remember writing the whole damn duty section up before. Like everybody that wasn't at turnover or was late. But a lot of that fire got lit under my ass because RS1 was like up there,
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
Brodying like the whole turnover process or whatever like that. So hey, thanks RS1 for motivating me while we were on duty, man. It was, I just want you to know, like, all your gripes, and all of that, animosity that you had didn't really, fall on deaf ears or whatever. And it never was like he got at me, but this dude would be walking around. This dude would be walking around and he looked threatening, man. You know what I'm saying? Just his whole demeanor at turnover was like no nonsense. Like this dude just got like this. You already know RS1 got like some like stock to him or whatever like that. So he like little short, but he got some stock to him and he got that whole Philly kind of vibe or whatever. So he like just walking through looking for somebody now that turnover, man. And when it came to the engineers, he always found them, man. And I be looking, I had that face, like Chief, when you put your hand on like that one hand on your waist and you nod and you tilt your head like this and you kind of squint your eyes, it's like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? All right, so I'll be like, yo, the engineers not here again. I was like, all right, let's fix this. And it was like, I make it a mission, like, yo, we need to get up there. But it's fucking crazy because it wasn't a chief, it wasn't an officer. That wasn't who was motivating me, man. It was RS1 that was lighting a fire up under my ass to get our guys into like turnover. So, hey, man, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. You know what? You brought up this story, so I got a story too, man, about the engineers. So I was section leader, and I'm up in the front every morning, and we always have a first class like up there reading off the muster, making sure everybody there, and they calling all these freaking engineers' name, and of course they no engineers up there, but the fire marshal and the EDO, right? So lucky and unlucky for me is my EDO was probably one of the hardest workers, can't stay still, drank 30 freaking energy drinks all day. And you guys all know him. It's old freaking Revis, right? This dude, hey, that's my dog, man. That's my boy, man. But this joker works all night on duty. All night. And you come up there and he come up there and I can hear, like me, I'm just standing up there to get the thumbs up. Right. So I can go on do the duty section thing, the thing I do, right? But I used to hear like sometimes in first classes be like and man, he be telling they down. I be hearing them talk, man. They in main 1, they in main 2, they in the bills. He got these jokers working like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, man. They already down there working. But trust and believe, man, those jokers be, if you an MP, you probably working though, for real.
Yeah.
So that joker don't stop on duty days, man. But yeah, man, it was funny.
We had him on Oh By The Way, our first Oh By The Way. And I remember we told him that, like, his guys was hoping that they weren't in his section. You know what I mean?
If you in his duty section,
but nobody want to be in the same duty section as their chief, man.
Yeah.
Nobody want to be in the same duty section as their chief, man. But so another thing happened, something happened last episode, right? At the end of our episode, we were having technical issues, right? So we had to close it in a weird way where we didn't really exchange when we were reviewing the movie. But you ended it with, I'm gonna tell you guys something. We got a guest coming, next week. So be ready for that. And I'm here to tell everybody that was a lie. It's just us two here. It's no guest.
No guest.
You know what I'm saying? It's no guest. So, our guest had some issues and we trying to reschedule with the guest. Very, very, very anticipated guest that we really want to talk to, but had some issues and duty calls, the Navy calls. But I'm here to tell you, if I can use your words, I'm here to tell you, we got a guest next week. Is like saying, I'm gonna get y'all out of here early today. When you say it, it don't happen. When you say it, and I don't know about you, but every time as an EM, whether it be EM1, EMC, every time I told the division, hey guys, we're gonna get up out of here early today, it never happened, man.
Never happens, man. And yeah, back to the guest real quick though, man. The guest thing, man, really, really was a letdown though, man. Like, regardless, we know things happen and all that stuff, but people don't know the preparation and the thought process and all the things that goes on especially when we know we about to have a good conversation. We know it's gonna be good, man. So it is kind of a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, but, man, I upgraded my internet, man. We had technical issues. I paid for new internet, man. Got the new box, made sure I got everything done, taken care of, man.
Yeah, man. New internet, just the whole thing, man. So we're gonna be careful with our words, man, now, man. We're gonna be a little bit more careful, coming out saying who we got and who this. So we gotta make sure we get the guests on. And once we get them on here now, we going in now.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wait a little bit until we most definitely got them on board.
Yeah, and it's definitely gonna be a good conversation. I got a question for you because I'm thinking about that whole "we gonna get y'all out of here early today" thing, and for some reason it made me think about that old video that came out a couple years ago, and I think we just started training to it again when we do like the human factors training. But it was about like the sailor who like had a bad experience on a ship. I don't know if you remember this, but like the the officer came, I think it was the XO. He came down and told the division officer that they need to get like X amount of checks done, like pre underway, because they getting underway. I'm like emergency underway or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot the name of this video. Everybody saw it. It's like Navy, you got to watch it, right? Like charting the course or something. I forgot the name of this video. I think that's the name of it. But he telling Divo like, yo, y'all got to get this done because we get emergency underway. Y'all, it's got to be done today. The Divo, go back to the division. Well, the Divo tell the XO like, hey, we still in revision mode. Like the check's not, approved yet and stuff. And he like, get it done. You know what I mean? Like, get it done anyway, right? So they get back to the division, and the chief briefing the division, right? The chief like, yo, this got to get done today. Man, I forgot. I wish I had this video, man. But the chief like, yo, this got to get done today. No questions asked. Let's get this done. I'm gonna leave. He pretty much like he had to go do something. So he's like, yo, when I get back, I'm gonna check, make sure everything good. Now that's what, matter of fact, the Divo said that when I get back, and Chief had to leave too. So Divo and Chief, right? They get this super duper important thing that they got to get done because the XO made them do it. And then they roll out. And then they leave the division to themselves to make these decisions, right? So they got the LPO who just don't seem like he really got a clue like what's going on. And then the second that seemed a little bit more like the leader. And they like, yo, let's just gun deck this shit. You know what I mean? They like, yo, let's just gun deck it, man. And I forgot like really like the wording. It was pretty much, yo, we do this all the time. We know it's nothing. Boom, boom. But so they get back, the chief get back, right? And he confront like petty officer, PO1 dumbass, whoever he is, right? He confront the first class. And the first class, like, he can't lie to him, right? He seemed like he have a heart, so the chief, like, did y'all, everything good? In the first class, like, nah, we really ain't do it. Like so the chief start, getting in his. But I forgot. Hey, if you're a listener, tell us this name. I think it's called Charting the Course, really. But if you're a listener, tell us the name of this training, man. It's a hilarious training, man. The first class face is hilarious in this training, man. I'm sure you've seen it because it's way more.
Have.
It's way more to the story. It's about way more. It's really about a seller with like real bad experiences on the ship and stuff like that. But yeah, it's way more. But somebody please tell us the name of this course. It's an essential watch for every seller, man. So
yeah, man, you most definitely gotta watch yourself with this. With give it out the words, get out of there early, man.
yeah,
You
or
gotta
just get
watch
it
yourself.
done. That just
Or
get it
get it
done.
done.
Like yo,
Yeah.
just get
it done
just
can
get it
mean
done.
so many things, man. Get it done can mean. Whew,
They be like, yo,
get it done
Chief
to get you in
said,
trouble.
Senior said, just get it done.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what that means. You know,
Definitely get it. How many times I didn't stood? Hey, look, and look. How many times I stood up in quarters, man, in the morning and tell my guys, hey, knock X, Y, and Z out, man. I'm gonna get you guys up out of here for lunch.
Yeah.
Time about lunchtime, I done linked up with Chang or linked up with the Devo.
Different
And they didn't
story.
say something different. And I gotta go back and spill this. I'm like, first they come to my
Story.
mind, I'm like, oh my goodness, man. Here we go. In my mind, I'm saying, here we go again.
Yeah.
I just told these people this. So yeah, you don't make a living on making promises, guys. Don't make a living on that.
No, you can't, man. You can't, man. You can't. Hey, quick question. Me and you
Yeah.
had this conversation, man. So we did a 360, right? We did a seller 360 session with our group that we had that was going to be our seller 360 committee, right? So we
Yeah.
had a group of sellers ranging each rank that we had as the planning committee for 360, right?
Okay.
And our 360, it was like as I look back at what our 360 was, what we were planning,
Yeah.
it was a lot of intricacies in our 360 while I'm at commands now where people like, hey, let's just talk about this on such and such day,
Yeah.
So, and that's what our 360 was supposed to look like on the outside, but on the inside, it was a whole lot of screws turning, right?
A lot of moving, moving parts. Yeah.
So we did a test run for one of the subjects. And I remember, one of the questions there was what gets you up in the morning, right? We talked about that. and I was talking about my Monday morning mirror motivation or whatever. But I just wanted to ask you here while we're talking now, in terms of your career, what gets you up in the morning?
Um, what gets me up in the morning? So first, um, talking about career, talking about Navy, what gets me up in the morning. I'm a, I'm a firm believer, oh man. What gets me up in the morning is how many people that look up to me, right? How many people that I have to give information to make sure their day is successful, right? So I have to be prepared for that and prepare for this. So what gets me up in the morning? Time I get up, I can go check my email, and people need information from me,
Uh huh.
and that kind of helps me prepare for things I have to do for that day. But just sailors in general, man, that look up to you and expect, like, you may not know all the answers, but your sailors expect you to know all the answers. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Just the expectations of standing up there in front of those guys and talking and putting out information and getting feedback and their reaction to the things you say, the knowledge of young people when they're coming up and they growing up through the ranks and things like that, man. I get excited about even going on ships, like right now, going on ships for inspection, man, excites me because a lot of those young sailors be the one out there doing all that stuff, man. You think, man, you can pick and tell who's doing what and who's doing a great job on the ship. So things like that, man. But it all falls around sailors though, man.
Yeah,
Like
people.
with them guys, what they gonna do and what they need from me and how can I help them.
Yeah, yeah. And I gotta like my own thought here, and it got a lot to do with the fact that this is our this is a 20-year profession.
Yeah.
And we talked a while ago. I think we were on Don't Give Up the Shit podcast, and we talked about um, just sellers kind of stepping out and doing different, stuff. And it was a good conversation. And I think about that all the time. And I'm happy to see. So, for instance, it's another podcast that fairly new that I started listening to. It's called the Rising Sun podcast, and it's by Dean Howe, who's a CMC over in Japan, right? And it's a quote from one of the episodes that he did, right? It says, "They're not going to give you a program that's succeeding, right? So they're not going to give you a program that's succeeding, right?" And that shit, and that was just him talking, right? But that shit hit me hard. It hit me hard because it's like, man, we think about like we talk about being a workhorse, we talk about all this stuff, and it's like, man, if you are good, why the fuck? Why are they gonna give you the best program? They gonna give you something for you to, you know, turn it around and make it good. Like that's, and then the next
Mm-hmm.
place you go, they gonna do the same thing again, right? But I say all that to say I'm happy that a guy like Dean Howe, who I met through uh just recently through networking and stuff, but I've heard some great things about him. But I'm happy that a person like Master Chief Howe has a podcast, now. So sellers could hear those thoughts, right? And I say all of that to say pretty much to kind of speak on the point that you just made. This is a 20-year career.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not one of those people that don't think it should be people that people get to hear in a 20-year career. This is the same way if you wanted to be a lawyer. I mean, we fighting for the country, right? But in a 20-year career, you got to make, I say a lawyer, I'd say anything you want to be and do in life, you should make the most of it and take it serious. You know what I mean? And if making the most of it means eventually you blossom into being able to do something like a podcast where you could speak to people at a way higher platform than you would be able to do
Mm-hmm.
like on a ship, then do that. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you need to do. Like we talked about the comedian before, Che Lee Jr. If you could make jokes out of this thing, and we got some people being viral on TikTok now. If you could baby go all of them people, if your talents can do all that, do all that. That's a 20-year, career. So I think like what gets me up in the morning is like new ways that we could present information, new ways that we could talk to our own sellers, and new ways like and being able to motivate sellers to do that on their own too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we need people to look at. and we need people to listen to. And I got this whole other thought process about how like we're lacking in competitive nature. But I don't want to, get into it too much. But I think it's not a lot of people that's competitive anymore when it comes to performing. And I think that
Yeah.
takes the pride out of. I think that takes the pride out of like sellers' work, and that
Yeah.
to me starts from the top down.
Yeah.
It shouldn't stop at a chief. Um, yeah, you made it in a mess, but that don't mean you need to stop being competitive. You know what I mean? Because you get your COs and your XOs that's like saying like, yo, we want to be the best. Our last CO, right? That was the whole mantra, be the best. You know what I mean? But if you, a chief and you like telling your guys talking all this, yeah, let's boop, boop, boop. Like, no, like tell your guys that they need to be the best. So I'm just happy to hear people being able to have platforms and being able to get people back motivated again, man. This is something to be proud of, man. You
Yeah.
know? And I think
Most
we
definitely,
take I
man.
think we take it for granted. You honestly, I think that can be infectious when you and I feel like I'm jumbling, or I feel like I'm not hitting it right. But I feel like that could be very infectious when you're not like talking about this Navy thing or your job with pride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you acting like it's just another thing,
Yeah.
shoulder shrugging it. Like, nah, this is something to be proud of, man. So I'm happy that to be doing this with you, but I'm happy to see other people around doing this and letting sellers know, like, hey, man, I've been through this. I've been through this. We're here now. We doing this. We doing that. And I think what, like I said, what gets me up and keeps me going is being able to see that information multiply and like spread out to different people. And now we got people reaching out to us like, hey, can I come on and talk this and talk this? Yeah, let's get all this information out at a higher level. And let's get people proud again to be serving
Yeah.
in the military. I don't know about you, but my observation is I don't see that many sellers proud to be serving, whether they
Yeah.
good sellers or bad sellers. I don't see that
Yeah. I
many
see it,
people
man. I
proud.
see it. I most definitely see it. But from a competitive standpoint, I most definitely see it. But I do also think it's just, you know, I see a whole lot more sailors just don't really have a go get it attitude,
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean? Like having a give a fuck attitude. I
Yeah.
mean, just don't care. Like either way, like you get in here. If we finish this work or we don't finish this work, it doesn't matter to me.
Yes, it is what it
I don't
is.
care. That's it. It doesn't care. They don't care. So that's kind of what I see a lot more of than I want to see anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do see the competitiveness, man. Like anywhere I go to, also, man, I didn't see the competitive go downhill, man. Like I see myself, man. Like I go in a mess and you look around, like it's kind of hurtful a little bit, man, when you see um and this goes from the first class mess, chief mess, whoever mess, when you see those same 4 or 5 people, man, you know what I mean, doing everything,
Yeah.
right? Doing everything. 4 or 5 people. And then on top of that, you know, people want to talk behind your back, saying you this, you that, you know what I mean? But it ain't because they want to do it, because no one else wants to
Yeah.
freaking do it, you know?
Yeah. Compete.
So it's just one of those things, man. You gotta be competitive. You gotta want it. You gotta want to be in the fight, man. And at the end of the day, all that stuff, this want it and this give a care about things makes everybody better. 'Cause at the end of the day, everybody's a team. You know what I mean? Like the old saying, iron sharpens iron type deal, you know?
Yeah,
So
like just to kind of finish that thought, like the synergy like we would have on a ship, for instance, like you a competitive guy, you a guy that's instilling pride in your sellers and you want them to be the best. On the same token, I was I would be doing the same thing. So,
yeah.
our watch team, like even our whole engine, because you talked about Matt Reeves too. He was another guy who was in the fight like all the time, like, even as humble as he was, he still like tried his hardest. He was competitive. Actually he was. Me and him talked a lot about this being competitive and having that person to look at. But you could tell in engineering, like we had watch teams wanted to be the best watch team. We had watch team
Hmm.
that wanted to have the best watch team logos,
Yeah.
So it's like that's good stuff. But it's like, I know that it starts with us,
Mm-hmm.
and if it don't start with us, it's cultivated by us, it's continued by us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about Chiefs.
Yeah.
We need to keep our sellers competitive, healthy competition,
Healthy.
not
Yeah.
nasty, but
Yeah.
healthy competition. So let's not forget that. And that brings me right into our next thought about just leaders, and sellers as well. And we talk about it a lot. So I want to kind of hit on leaders. Um, Take care of yourself, man. We regular people with regular problems. It's crazy because I feel like this episode I'm doing that a lot, like making like declarations. I don't do that much, but like leaders, like take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. We like I just did an episode of our like subsidiary podcast, Fan Room, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and I like as I was talking, I was thinking about some of the leaders that me and him served under. That like during some of the time I was serving with him, I'm thinking like me and that person are like butting heads. Like, man, like why Chief just don't get it? Why Senior Chief just don't get it? Am I being just a asshole second class? Am I being a rebellious first class? And at times I was. But
Yeah.
then it's also times that like there's something else going on that I just can't pinpoint. Then you find out 2-3 years later that this person is dealing with alcohol problems. At that time, like somebody like, hey, the whole time such and such was dealing with these problems and these
Mm-hmm.
problems and these problems, and it's like when you're not 100, that stuff you might not think it's happening, but that stuff is spilling off into your workplace or whatever like
Yeah.
that. So, and that's the reason. And this has happened a few times in my career. This happened at LCS. Yeah, something else was going on, and Chief, was just. I'm like, yo, why is Chief like flying off the handle like that? Then we found out later some issues with the wife, some issues with ideation.
Family.
So take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. If you get into that pulse point where you need to go get a pulse check, you need to go take care of your mental health, go do that, because you can't do anything good for anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself. So that's my only kind of thoughts with that.
Yeah, I agree totally, man. And not only it's everything, man. Like it's mental health, it's freaking aches, pains, anything that's affecting your day to day life because it rolls back over on your division or your command, right? And I say that to say this, that it hurts. Say something happens and you're not at the command anymore. That hurts the command. So it's something you
Yeah.
could have prevented earlier, and maybe you still on the command. Maybe you didn't miss no time. Maybe you didn't do this because you may have been too stubborn to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a personal thing that happened to me on board the ship, and I had this pain in my side for like, man, maybe 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, and I used to walk around like a damn near humped over,
Mm-hmm.
but we had an inspection going on that was my stuff. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna keep pushing, until I get this done, and I'm gonna go get looked at like time I get it done. So time the inspection got over, freaking went to see Docs, which hey Docs, big shots out, you guys looked out for me, man, and got me over there. Um and so I end up, they sent me over there, and I get checked out, and they say, my appendix was about to like erupt,
Yeah.
which is very dangerous. And then they was gonna take them out. So I had this, they were doing this emergency surgery on me, and then end up they found a tumor in there.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if I would have went way back, man, and I'm saying 3 weeks, man, I was actually hurting way before that, but it just started getting serious, the final 3 weeks. I probably could have prevented at least some of that stuff from happening, if I would have got over there earlier. And then I end up missing about 3 months on the ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of that, maybe if I would have took care of myself a little bit earlier, maybe that wouldn't have been an issue then. So to say, hey, take care of yourself, go look, your hearing, your freaking eyes, your freaking everything, man. Take care of yourself. Because sailors need you, and that goes. I know we talking about leaders, but that goes for everybody, man. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental. That's one of the biggest things going on right now is the mentals, man. So make sure you're taking care of yourself, man. You're doing your thing.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I think when you were out, it was a ranking board. I think it was a cell at a quarter board. It might have been a mat board, and it was a semio.
Mm-hmm.
issue. That
Yeah.
some
Which
of
is
these
huge,
things,
huge
yeah,
shit.
yeah, and some of these
Yeah.
things, not saying that as far as the Simio issue, not saying it wouldn't have happened, but some of it probably could have played a little different, if you were
Yeah.
around, if you were there every day, or even in your right mind. Because I remember you came in hurt off of
Yeah.
that because it was
They,
informal, but like
yeah.
your
It kind
mind
of, I
might
was,
not have been, your brain
dude,
waves might not have been 100%.
dude, they told, I mean, yeah, that was crazy, man. I had to come in that day, man. I was like hurt. I was humped all over, man.
Yeah,
Staples still in my stomach, man. I had to come in and take care of to talk to some sailors. It's crazy.
yeah,
But
man.
yeah.
I know one
Yeah,
of the
man.
questions you was asking when we were talking before we started, you were talking about was how can we do a better job at keeping talent?
Yeah, man. So I asked this question, man, because you guys already know where I know you guys already know where I work and what I do, man. I do inspections on ships for Tycom. So I go on these ships and man, you have young sailors out here kicking ass, right? And then I started because I always engage sailors, man. I engage sailors for several different reasons, man. I engage sailors for topics. I engage sailors for anything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I engage sailors for all type of stuff, man. So I'm engaging. I'm always talking. I'm always trying to have a conversation with them. And man, as soon as I get to talking to them, man, I'm like, man, blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, hey, yeah, senior, I'm getting out in 6 months. Because all my conversations leading to when you gonna re-enlist, when you staying in, when you up for furs, when you up for all this stuff. I'm always talking about stuff like that. But then time I get to start talking like that, I get this, hey, senior, I'm getting out in 6 months. So that was my question, man. How can we start keeping this talent that we letting go? Because I can see these guys, future chiefs, future LDOs, future warrant officers, and things like that. So, man, that was my question to you, man. Is like, how can we start keeping some of these guys? How can we have motivation? Is it monetary? What is it we can do? Because a lot of the engineers and stuff, we don't get those monetary,
Yeah,
things like everybody else get to stay in the Navy or re-enlist or whatever. And
got it.
it's a big question. I don't know the answer to it. If anybody else out there can help us out and hit us up too, on things we may can do to improve, because a lot of good sailors that I didn't see get out the Navy.
I mean, I got two pitches for that real quick. Before I get into that though, real quick, I wanted to say that I remember, man, like you used to get me like all the time, man. Like I have a seller, and the seller is like, I didn't had 100 conversations with the seller, and the seller like, yeah, I'm getting out. I'm getting out, chief. I'm getting out, you know. And then I talk to you. You'd be like, yeah, I don't even know if you remember all of these, but you'd be like, yeah, such and such is like on the fence about getting out and staying in. And I'm like, nah, they said they was getting out like 100%. Nah, they saying that they, might be staying in. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, I'm pissed. Like, y'all just talked to the seller. Like, they did not tell me that. You know what I mean? I just talked to him. Like, so then I got to go back, like, hey, you considering staying in at all? Like, any? Nah, chief, I'm getting out. Hey, look, I just talked to senior, man. He told me y'all talked and you said you on the fence. You on the fence or not? Sometimes I might get the, well, I wanted to tell senior I was on the fence, so the hell don't think that. But then sometimes I get the, yeah, I am on the fence. I'm like, well, how come you ain't say you was on the fence? So I don't know
Hmm.
what magic you got, man. But sometimes you be getting it out of the young sailors, man, to get them to
Yeah.
stay in. But I think that ties into the first. I was telling somebody that I've never ever tried to convince or had a
Hmm.
conversation with somebody along the lines for them to stay in. Right?
Yeah.
I never
Because
done
it's
it.
not for everybody. I mean, that's respect. That's
Right?
respected.
It might have been a person or two. Maybe I'm lying. It might have been a person or two that I thought this was good for, but for the most part, I don't think I've ever, been like, yo, you need to stay in. If somebody was like, yo, I'm getting out, I was like, all right, how can I support, that process? So it's probably, but people like you might be able to pinpoint when that person is shifty. Like, I'm
Yeah.
getting out, and like, you probably like, nah, that smells like bullshit. And then you ask them a couple
Yeah.
questions, it's like, man, no, you're not really ready. That's never been me. So that's something I got to get better with.
Yeah.
But to answer that, what's up?
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But to answer that question is, I think that the pride part that we talked about is one, because I mean, you can't get somebody that's putting up. It's like Damian Lillard, for instance, man. This dude, like, he putting up 45 on a losing team. like a team that's not ever like doing any. That's a demotivator right there.
Yeah.
So some of these people is like, yo, some people is really out here like, yo, I'm too good for this. Like I don't want to be here. I'm too good for this. This is below me. It's some people that think that. Like it's some people in the Navy. If somebody don't believe me, I don't know if you believe me, Damon. It's some people in the Navy right now that think that it's beneath them at this point.
Yeah.
You know
At
what I'm
all.
saying?
Facts.
So that's one of them. And I think another one is for us to be able to do more at harboring effective communication up and down the chain when it when it's valuable, and letting those people with value be able to like taking some of the yellow tape away from some of those more junior people with value from being able to like give it, because the world is for like the world we live in is kind of for, and some people might, some of the old, some of the older folk might disagree with this, but the world is for them. Like a lot of decisions that are made, a lot of what the wave is, a lot of what the thought process is theirs. You know what I'm saying? These are the
Mm-hmm.
same people that's in the like some of the civilian sector, some of these people that's coming in at 22, 23, it's some younger, but some of those people are already making like decisions that's big deals. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like with their thought process. You know what I mean? Now, some of that, like, but we need to meet, and again, we need to meet in the middle as well. But I think some of that would help us keep talent. Like let people know their worth, and let people know that we care, that like that they have
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
So we need to like foster it, trust it, and then like kind of like instill it in our people. So that's what I think. Like I think that'll keep people. It's a whole pride thing, man. Like I said, man, I think we lost pride, like
Yeah.
a lot of our pride, man. Some people, just
Yeah.
like a job, bro. It's a job.
You were saying earlier, man, about like I was telling I can find out people like on the fence of getting out and getting in, man. But what you may not know, man, on how many people that I have talked to about staying in and getting out, and they was like okay with going back home at 23, 22, 23 years old, staying with their mom and
Yeah.
dad.
Starting
You
back
know what I
over
mean?
again.
And I kind of used to try to use that edge. You know what I mean? Like you, that's what you want to do. You know what I mean? You want to go back like you have not, gained anything but your service. You did your 4 years and you got out, which is cool. You know what I mean? That's what you don't want to do. But what's your plan? You had no. Your only plan is to go home and stay with your parents. I mean, like what are you gonna do type deal. But I have talked to several sailors like, hey, my mom will take care of me. I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean? And they okay with that. I never been okay with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never been okay for nobody else to take care of me and stuff like that. So it's just different, man, for me anyway. So I always ask sailors questions all the time just to see. And I feel like if you don't answer my questions that I ask a certain way, I feel like you really don't know what you want to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You really don't know what you want to do. You just, and then a lot of times too, man, believe it or not, it's your peers, man, that get you out the Navy, man.
Yeah. Your
You
friends
know what I
that
mean?
talking.
All them getting out and they talking negative
Yeah.
and 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 then it just goes downhill from there, man. No one stays in. So yeah, I
Yeah,
can see
it's a
all that,
lot of
man.
peer pressure when it come to
Yeah,
that.
a
When it
lot.
come to that, being a junior seller, it's a lot. Like people
Yep.
make you seem like you so. They make it seem like it's so uncool to be like a CMC
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
MCPON. Oh, MCPON, you want to be a Joe Navy? You want to be a first
Yeah.
class?
Yeah.
like,
Lifer. That's the way
yeah, yeah,
lifer.
you're a lifer. You're gonna do 20, and it's like, yo, ain't that like I never know it, but anything I sign up for, like, don't I want to like rise to the highest of you know the possible heights that there is. Again, man, pride. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yep.
kind of been the theme, for all of this. Before we get out of here, well, my last final kind of thought is, uh, this is personal, but one of the guys at another senior chief at my command I'm at now is transferring, right? So after Monday he won't be at the command anymore, but I want to shout him out, first off, and I'm not going to say his name. He know who he is. Hopefully he listens to the episode. But I want to shout him out for like just bringing me in, like with like a warm embrace. and like a warm handoff at the same time. And that doesn't happen a lot. You know what I mean? So he's a senior chief working out of some office and he has an impact. I work at the region. You work region. You work region too, right? You work region, Damon?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I work region. It's a big region. So, bring me in and then kind of like introduce me. Anytime I would ask him for something, he wouldn't get the answer. And some people might not understand that. Some people might want the person to get the answer. But what he would do was he would loop me in with the people that had the answers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, he'd be like, "Hey, sis," like you said earlier, it's like 4 to 5, 6, 7 chiefs that's really getting busy. Some other people just kind of there.
Yeah.
So since he was a mover and shaker, in the mess, the people he had a close contact with were like movers and shakers too. So any of the questions that I have, he would loop me into some of the people that's in there getting stuff done. You know what I mean? And I think that that's invaluable. Like to be able to introduce somebody, to the movers and shakers so that they could even, and it could probably be like, yeah, and already knowing like, all right, this dude Damo, he wants to, do stuff and get stuff. So let me loop you into such and such and such and such. But man, I thank him for that. I appreciate that because he kind of, I could have been isolated, especially in region. I could have just been like not knowing anybody or whatever, but I think he put me in a good position to be present in the mess. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
so I just and I think it's a value and beauty in bringing somebody in. And I don't know how you feel about that, but I think it's a value and beauty in that.
Yeah, man. The most of um the people that's coming in right now, we got a lot of chiefs and senior chiefs coming in right now, man. And that's one of my first things, man. I get them, get them situated, get them checking in and things. And people always go remember that, man. Remember, you don't know anything about the command. You don't know anybody. If you got that person that's taking you around and showing you the ropes, man, in the beginning, that's something you always going to connect with. Regardless, when you go in the mess, you see them anywhere, you always going to connect to things like that, man. So big shouts out to you for seeing him off the right way too, man, and thanking him and giving him shots out, man, because a lot of times that's what we don't do.
Yeah.
We don't give people flowers. We'll wait till they leave or we'll see them years later or something and say, yeah, man, I remember you did this for me. So that's good shots out, man, for giving people flowers now instead of trying to wait for so long. Um, I know we getting out of here, man, but I want to say real quick, man. We do a lot of episodes, we do a lot of talking. Um, and I do write down things that I think that's like something that I use. And the day I wrote down, man, that quote you said, man, about uh no one's gonna give you a program that's exceeding. I write stuff down like
Yeah.
that, man, when I think it's like hey, you can write that stuff on your wall and you can just that's something you just think about for a minute, man. You sit there and just look at it and you
Yeah.
think about it for a minute. It's one of those things, man. So I always wanna, that's a good quote, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Dean Howell, Rising Sun Podcast. Hey,
Yeah, man.
oh, by the way, episode 6. Oh, by the way, episode 6, man. To all the listeners, we love you. Like we always say, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you. And go support us, man. Share.
Share, like, subscribe. Mississippi, stand up.
Mm-mm-mm.